Hi, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Right, I shall try as much as I can to be brief. The UX writer, I talk way too much. Hello, my name is Kester Thompson. I'm head of UX writing at Wix. Wix is a website building platform. We have around 250 million users, something like that, all around the world. We have something like 160 writers at Wix altogether, but we are a team of 56 UX writers who work all across the company. And the UX writers are part of the Writers Guild. So in the Writers Guild, we have all 160 writers, which include marketing writers, knowledge-based writers, language writers, ADI writers, tech writers. And so the UX writers make up approximately a third of that. And the fun fact about me, I'm married with kids, and like possibly many of you, I don't think anyone in my family actually knows what I do for a living. It's been quite a few years now, and they still don't get it, but never mind, one day. Talking about maintaining a consistent language and how we maintain a consistent language, I think it's definitely one of our biggest challenges today. Wix is massive. We have over 4,600 employees. As I said, we have 56 UX writers. And I think I'm estimating that we have something, when you include all languages, we curate and look after, have created something like 32 million words altogether. So good communication between all writers is absolutely essential. And I have to say, and I will say it again at the end, it's one of the things I most appreciate about our team, how well we communicate. And it's really important for me to say now that Wix, Wix operates as a series of very small companies within this kind of mammoth organization. And these small companies are kind of like startups that actually produce end-to-end products. So writers actually work with the same team every day, working in the same area of expertise, and they become experts in their own little domain. So just a few things of how we actually maintain our consistent. We have a guild book. It explains for all writers how we write for each discipline. Our methodologies talks about voice and tone. It's absolutely massive, but there you go. We have different glossaries, or we're starting to work on more and more different glossaries for different areas of Wix. We write on so much now that the use of words is not the same across the platform. We don't speak in payment areas in quite the same tone as we do when we're talking about music or photography or something like that. This is something that one of the teams has been working on. This is in Notion. And it's this is part of the more of the community side of our language. This is an amazing project that they've been working on recently, where everything here is like a word, where it is within the site, and how it's used, and it can be cross-referenced. It's an amazing thing that they've been doing. We also have, as Brooke was explaining for her company, we also have a very comprehensive design system and component system. All the design elements are prefigured and engineered. Right now, we're actually looking at seeing where and how we can actually fit content into those pre-designed elements. But it's really complex. There's a lot of engineering blockers. And also, we're very wary of text just becoming robotic, of just dragging and dropping text into the right places. It doesn't always, it's not just cookie cutter all the time. We have a new onboarding process for UX writers that we've been working really hard on. It's made up of initial 3-week training. And then once a writer actually moves into a small company, we still work with them over the next 3 months. There's so much information to take on, so we're constantly trying to train people. We say it takes us something up to like 6 months to actually train a writer. Other things, we have a team of writers who, apart from what they do every day, they also they work tirelessly and meet on standardization. And they're constantly looking at where we can standardize text. Can we write, messages like, do you want to save your changes? Can we write all these in the same way? And should we be doing that? It's a fabulously geeky meeting. It's really kind of philosophical and linguistic philosophy and stuff, and it's amazing. Right now, in terms of documentation, all our documentation is on Google Slides. We're looking at other ways to do it, but we can't seem to find a better way than Google Drives and Docs and Slides. It's simply the easiest format and the easiest way to share and access. It doesn't matter how fancy everything else is. We're looking at Miro, but you just can't get away from Google. And blitzes. Occasionally we have blitzes. Just recently, the entire company, everybody at Wix stopped for a week to work on error messaging. Product, back-end, front-end, UX writers, designers, everybody, which is not a small thing. I found 7,000 pieces of code which contained the word error. And that's just the word error. That's before you start looking at mistake or oops or stuff like that. It's 7,000, nightmare. So our work tools, they're just some of them. As writers, we write on anything and everything. We work very closely with designers and developers, and content delivery is always under discussion. Been having a kind of running argument with one of my fellow writers recently about whether we're supposed to move up to other people or whether they're supposed to come down to us. And it's an ongoing conversation. Are we supposed to learn other people's tools to deliver our content? So right now, we use things like Google Slides and Docs, Sketch and Abstract, Miro. We also, there's management tools like design tools like Actual and InVision, Sketch, Zeppelin, you name it, we use it. I'm just going to show you very quickly a few of them. This is one of our main tools. It's actually an in-house tool. This is Babel. Ultimately, all our content goes into GitHub. And for this, we have our own in-house bespoke UI, which we call Babel. And it's actually built on Wix. And it allows writers to add content to JSON repositories without having to navigate these huge code repositories or make pull requests. You don't really want all your writers within the code. It can be dangerous. And also this machine, Babel manages the sync between GitHub and the third-party localization platform we use, Smartly. I'm not going to show you Smartly. If you know it, this is Babel at a project view. I think there's something like 400 to 500 different projects, and each project can contain 10 keys, and some of them contain 30,000 keys. So it entirely depends. We also have an in-house tool called the Dealer, it's been around for a while, but it's still in its infancy, but it's becoming more and more and more used. And the Dealer actually allows us to deliver tailor-made content to users at a particular time. So the Dealer actually, you set parameters of who you want to speak to, and it reads somebody's website. It knows where they are, what they're looking at, where they are in their setup, and we can actually deliver specific messaging to those users. So all of these in the red here, this is actually content that is delivered to me because of where I am in building my website at that particular moment. For me, the future, if I can deliver bespoke content to every user everywhere across the interface, I can give you a first-time experience and then remove content, it would be amazing. But that's a long way off, I think. And also we use Abstract and Sketch a lot to work with designers. I don't know if any of you know Abstract. It's basically a version management tool for Sketch. So it allows writers to actually create branches of design and to work on it, and then for designers to actually upload and merge their own content. It works like this: version control visualized. So you have a master, branch, commit. Very short time, so I'm just going to keep going. The workflow. Strangely, it looked actually very much like Brooks, I have to say. I like to say that writers are involved right from the beginning of the process. Wherever possible, I believe that to be true. This is kind of roughly our workflow, and it's not always the same for every writer. Again, we're 56 writers. Every company is slightly different, and also it depends if you're talking about a brand new project or if you're just talking about one sentence or one little pop-up that you've got 2 days to finish one pop-up. Maybe you don't go through all of this flow, but obviously research, understanding state of mind, creating mock-ups, which at Wix we call tractor. Don't ask me why. Writing, editing, reviewing with PMs into final version and high fidelity wireframes, and then QA documentation, localization, which we also manage the whole process of localization, including QA, opening to all, analyzing, optimizing. As you know, it goes on forever and ever and ever. And also we actually create the keys. We actually enter all the content into Babel, which then goes into GitHub. Working as a team. So within a company, when you're actually working on a product, ideally writers have complete control over their content, ideally. As I'm sure you all know, writing is often compromise, it's negotiation, it's fighting, it's confrontation. Sometimes you win, sometimes you have to give one to get something back. I'll let you have that, but I'm not letting that one go over there. I never try to kind of really put my foot down unless something is unethical or it's dishonest or it's just plain wrong. I always believe that you can find the right way. And, we have a system of balances. We have a lot of editing, and you can always kind of go higher up the food chain. Just today, I said to a writer, if you need help, just call me in a very nice way, a kind of outside pair of eyes. I can come in, I can be the bad cop very nicely, just get somebody to see something from a different perspective. And I think, just as a last thing, one other thing again that I said, as a group of writers, we're really collaborative, which I think is absolutely key. And it's interesting that a lot of the writers are actually from outside of Israel. So we're kind of a bunch of outsiders who really care about our language. So we're a very tight group. We have a huge amount of Slack channels, and they're just busy all day and all night. We're always asking each other for help, advice, peer editing. We have group editing sessions. We have regular syncs. And I think one of the hardest things for a writer to do, as I'm sure many of you have experienced, I know I have, one of the hardest things to do as a writer is to put your ego to the side, is to leave it at the door. But I think it's one of the things I most appreciate about my team, is that we're very good at being open and honest and open to feedback and criticism. So yes, thank you very much.